Well, hello, my name's Brian and I'm learning archery as an older person. Started in February, it's now May, so I did my beginner's course, which I might mention at some point. And I've currently passed my 20, 30 and 40 yard targets. So I'm on 50 and I'm on 60, well 50 next, 50 yards. The arrows I've got are cheap beginner arrows, so I've invested in some slightly more expensive ones. These are Alimax arrows from Merlin. I think it's their own brand. And I decided to buy them without fletching so that I can fletch them myself and put arrow socks on. If you don't know what arrow socks are, they are labelled with your name, your club and the number of your arrow in case it goes missing, it has to be found. And also they're quite easy to fit. But I'm new to this, so let's have a look at the Merlin arrows, shall we? Right, so I can't remember the price of these in case my wife's watching, but they're over £150. They are designed for about a £32 pull on at the fingers on my bow, I think it is. Spoke to one of the coaches who advised me on the size of arrows to get these at 29 inch with 100 gram points, which may be reduced to 90 if necessary, depending on how it goes. I won't be using these for a while yet. I'll just show you what I've got so far. So one of the things I find quite difficult is when there are 3 or 4 sets of arrows in a target is identifying my own arrows. So I've put on high-vis arrow socks with the arrow number on it. These are the Eastern Jazz 29 inch 1816 arrows. And I put some heat shrink tubing on the back in the hope to make them easy to see. And I've been okay with this combination. Obviously that aerodynamically is probably not going to be ideal, but I am a beginner. So that is the arrow that I've been using. Here is another 29 inch arrow, same Jazz, but these ones I fletched myself with some cheap fletchings that I got off AliExpress just to practice. Still got some glue on there. Put a longer arrow sock on so that hopefully I can see that in the target. Maybe it's my age, but I find it very difficult to see the arrows when there's 3 or 4 sets. You have to spot your 6 arrows and shout out your score relatively quickly because other people are waiting. And I don't always find it easy. So this is my first attempt at fletching. Seems to have worked, so I've practiced on these. I haven't used these arrows yet. I don't know how they'll fly, but it was a practice. One thing I did notice, if you get too much glue on, it spreads onto here, so I need to be a bit more careful with the glue because these Alimax arrows are a step up and I don't want them to be as rough as that. Okay, so we have the box. As I say, I did, spell my hand, I went to a gig last night. I did ask for them to be unfletched. Now I've bought some fletchings separately just so that I like to do things myself. I think one of the things about archery is you've got to be quite independent. You don't just buy stuff and go and use it. I suppose you could, but there's a lot of personalising things to suit you. I'm still not a consistent shooter, so obviously working on my consistency is going to be far more valuable than spending money. So probably won't be using these arrows for a while. And also, being honest, I've got 2 sets of limbs on my bow. One is 25 at the fingers and the other one is 32, and I find the 25 suits me better. And these arrows are probably too stiff for 25, so probably won't be using those until I'm more comfortable with my 32, and I'm going to need 32 at some point. And then beyond that, we'll see. As I say, I'm elderly. It's going to take me longer. One point I have to say is, the first few weeks I thought I'd have to give up because of the pain in my shoulders, because I had an injury, a spine injury some years ago. But it's actually strengthened my shoulders no end. I've just stuck with it, gone through the pain barrier, and can quite happily shoot 25. In fact, 25 seems easy, so I've been shooting at 32 the last couple of times, but I might return to 25 just for consistency's sake. So here's what we have. Doesn't look much, does it? So I have got, here it says, Merlin Alimax custom made arrows, aluminium carbon shafts including knocks, pins and break-off points, 700, 12 pack, no fletchings, £12, probably going to be more towards sort of £14 an arrow by the time you finish, so it's not cheap. So as I say, I'm not rushing into it. But I couldn't find anything on Alimax online. So as a learning archer, which is probably what I'll call this channel if it hasn't gone, because I am a learner. I think you always learn. You've got to learn lifelong. Okay, here's what we have. Ooh, very nice they are too. So the points are in. They're 100 grain, is it? I think. But they're break-off points, so I could heat those up with hot water, pull them out, snap them off and re-glue them back in. I do have some cold melt glue for that. There's the shafts, and they are, I think they are pin knocks on the end of there. I'm not certain. I shall have to check. I'm kind of hoping they were, but they're black, so whether I'll be able to see those or not, I don't know. So Merlin Alimax 700 29-inch arrows without fletchings. Now I know technically I should have a go at firing them without fletchings, but I'm not at that level yet. By the way, all comments are welcome. I don't know anything about archery. I'm just learning, picking it up as I go along. I understand that if you put more weight at the front, that softens the arrow, makes it more flexible because the inertia means that the arrow doesn't want to go, so the shaft bends and becomes more flexible. And if you reduce the weight at the front, it moves faster, so the arrow stays stiffer. That's my understanding. Likewise, if you put more weight at the back, that's going to push the arrow more, which will stiffen it up, I think. I think that's right. So, right, let's have a look. What an Alimax is. Quite thin. Quite light. There's the tips. There's the knock that's supplied. Let's compare that. Compare that to Eastern Black Jazz 75, XX75, and putting the points, lining the points up. Shafts are about the same. The points much bigger, and the diameter much smaller. So a beginner arrow, a step up in quality. All right, it's not the highest quality, but it's beyond my ability at this stage. And we'll see how fletching those goes. I'm not quite sure how far down to fletch them, but I'll show you the fletchings that I've purchased. So I have purchased some bicaster flights from AliExpress. Now I'm using a pink fletching for the cock feather, which is a silly name, makes me laugh, but I did wonder whether the cock feather was different in some way to the other fletchings, but they're not. It's just for orientation purposes. So I'm going to use a pink one for my cock feather so that when I notch the arrow, that will be pointing away from me. I've also got some yellow and some orangey red. So I think I'm going to go with the three-way combination, but with the pink one as my cock feather. This is because I find it difficult to see these things. Hopefully, because these are thinner and slightly different to the other beginners, I might be able to see these when I start using them. I've also purchased some arrow socks, but they look quite big to me, and I might cut those down. We'll see. Right, so that's the Alimax, Merlin Alimax AX1 700 spine, 100 points, nocks are fitted. I'm not sure what kind of nocks they are. Let's see if I can pull one off, shall I? So, a removable knock, push on, there's the knock pin. So I can get some different coloured ones of those later on if necessary, because I want to make them bright. I'm probably making a beginner's mistake. I'm sure people are going to tell me in the comments, well, if anyone ever sees this video. So I'm going to start a new channel and just put things up as and when I go along, so that if anyone else starts to be a beginner, you can follow me. And hopefully you'll learn faster than I did. Right, so next time you see me, I'll be adding arrow socks and fletching these arrows. We'll see how that goes. So for a first video, thank you for watching. I'm calling myself the Learning Archer because that's what I am. I'm learning. Just as a point of interest, as I am getting into this stuff, I did buy some nocks pins, some knock pins, some orange nocks to go on the end of those, and some break off points just for spares. Bound to lose some at some point. It's not a cheap hobby, this, is it?